Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Jack and Glenn channel. Before I get started, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you don't miss any of our reviews. Today, I'm going to review Put a Ring on It, Season 4, Episode number 2. Jack is not here today, but she might be joining me on these Put a Ring on It reviews. I want to get started a little bit. You know, everybody been talking about Put a Ring on It and my man Dunbar, right? Dunbar and Chance. Where do I start? Let's start at the beginning. We see when Put a Ring comes on this episode of Put a Ring Come On, you see Dr. Stacy and Dunbar still having a conversation along with Chance about him being controlling, and in the words they put it, a daddy type figure. They don't see it, they don't get it. Dunbar said Dr. Stacy doesn't get where he was coming from with that. I get where he was coming from. You're doing too much. Y'all doing too much. It does come off a little bit controlling, that you control the whole situation. Watching the episode with my teenage children, they first time I watched him Put a Ring on it, they were like, "What are you holding the chest for? What's this about praying, laying on their hands and talking about whooping a man's butt? Holding his hand, praying. It's too much. It's too much." He talking about, man, he didn't want nobody to disrespect the king in their own house. Bruh, he just can't. You understand what you signed up for. That's always amazing to me. You know what you signed up for. You knew, if you know this show, if you've seen this show, you knew that another man was going to come into your house and take your woman out, right? If you didn't want him to come in your house, you would have met him outside. You would have met him at a restaurant, met him at a Panera Bread, met him at a Red Lobster, met him at a YMCA. But he came to the house to take your young girl out, your young woman out. What is the issue? What's the problem? I don't get it. With Dunbar and Chance, they're doing a lot. I'm gonna stick with Dunbar and Chance. I'm not gonna break up the couples. I'm gonna break the couples up, not go in the order of the show. But we see Dunbar getting ready for his date. Well, first of all, we see Dunbar in the bathroom mirror praying to God. He a praying man, religious man. He's getting himself together. Y'all take it for what it's worth. I know some of you out there say think he's playing, but I'm not gonna never challenge the man's faith. The man said he's good with God. Let him be good with God. But one thing, so he comes downstairs. Chance smells him. Looked at him, said he's looking real good with his gold chain stuff on like that. Then you see her and Dunbar go into a conversation, which I thought was confusing to me. Let me know if it was confusing to you. She said, "Well," he's like, "What time do I have to be home?" What? She's like, "Oh, when the street lights come on." Ain't it already dark outside? It's already pitch black. You see the young lady, I believe her name is Crystal. She's walking up the street and it's dark outside. So what's his curfew? Are you talking about the street lights? Street lights go off in the morning time. I don't get it. Don't understand it. Don't know what it was talking about. But she's talking about when the street lights come on. Very, very confusing. I hope it was just as confusing for you as it is with me. Seemed like they playing for TV at times. She does the same thing Chance does. She goes and sits on his lap and start having a conversation with Crystal and Chance. Crystal was very respectful in all of this. I'd have been laughing personally. Like, what are y'all doing? I don't care all the antics that you put on before we go out. Guess what? We're still going out. If I want your man and he wants me, I could probably get your man. But that's not even the case. But nonetheless, Crystal and Dunbar eventually go out, make their way to the restaurant. Dunbar said before he went out, he was like, "Hey, I'm not going to try to find a new woman. I'm just going to see what I can learn from these women so I can do a better job with Chance." He gets there with Crystal and finds out that Crystal is 30 years old. Find out Crystal is into the church. She is a youth minister. They start having great dialogue in the midst of their conversation, and Dunbar was like floored to the fact that Crystal grew up in the church, that Crystal was a church girl. This is what he wanted. And then the term comes up, submissive. Crystal says she's looking for, she doesn't mind being submissive to a husband. And Dunbar was like, "Da!" Like the lights just came on, everything hit. He wants a lady who's submissive. Now, this is not, and he said he didn't say, he said not African submissive, back in the day submissive, but just submissive. Let a man lead and do everything. I understand that. Each his own, right? It's 2023. There has to be some sense of independency there. You got to be independent. You can't always do. Submissive is such a broad term. It is such a broad term. What type of submissive do you want, right? The submissive where you do everything, she does nothing. The submissive that is controlling. where that you do everything and she has no life. I'm not sure which way Dunbar is looking at it. Some of y'all think he's that submissive. Hey, I do everything for you, you do nothing, and that's one of the issues that him and Chance have. That Chance hasn't. She's very independent. We learn about that a little bit later. But Dunbar was like, hey, this is the best date that he's ever had. He's happy that that's Crystal's, wearing some. She's covered up, right? Now, how you go from Chance who's showing a little bit of belly and all this other stuff, and now you happy that the girl Crystal's covered up, but your girl that you with is not covered up. Or maybe that's the issue that they're having, right? That she's not covered up, that she's not the church girl that Dunbar wants, but yet he still loves her anyway. Once again, they get into the conversation, have a great conversation about about church. My wife says this, Jackie. I wish she was here on this video, but she's like, when the girl said he looked like Taye Diggs, my wife was like, where? Where he look like Taye Diggs at? What do you see Taye Diggs when you look at Dunbar? Somebody help me out. You don't see Taye Diggs when you see Dunbar. She's like, when I opened the door, I thought it was Taye Diggs. First of all, Taye Diggs don't even live in Atlanta. You know it wasn't Taye Diggs that you was going on a date with. She was just trying to be flattered. Or she was drunk, one or the other. But can't be drunk because she's a church girl. But nonetheless, yeah, we leave that alone. But she thought Dunbar looked like Taye Diggs. Dunbar said that was the best date that he ever been on. He gets back home, and we can see that when he gets back home, we see a vignette with Chance that she was asleep when Dunbar got home. So I guess he missed his curfew, right? He didn't come home when the street lights came on, but then they end up meeting with Dr. Stacy, and you still see, she wants to know, look, y'all what's the issue with you guys? What's going on with you and Chance? Because I don't see it. Kind of look like y'all doing okay. Like what's going on here? And Dunbar comes up and makes a lie. He was like, well, I wanted to be submissive, but she goes to her daddy and asks her daddy stuff first. And the problem with that is what, bruh? Y'all not married. You're not married. So technically, she still belongs to her daddy. That's what I believe. Until daddy walks her down the aisle and hands her over to you, she's still kind of her daddy's responsibility. Even though she's shacking with you, you're not married. So what's wrong with her asking her daddy? And there's not a problem with, hey, dad, what should I do? Dad, there's some advice. You don't want to be her daddy, you want to be her husband. Now, when you get married, there's conversations you guys have. Hey, there's some things you should talk to me about. But until that time, let her ask her dad some of the issues. And then we see Dr. Stacy asking, and we know she know that Dunbar is lying. Chance knows Dunbar lying. Now we get to the point, why is Dunbar making up stories? This part of the show ends with Dunbar and Chance when Dr. Stacy asks Chance to leave, and she wanted to speak to Dunbar by himself. And before she can really get anything out, man, we see this dude just bawling. Like, I mean, bawling. He's crying like he about to sell a deep, dark secret. Don't know what it is, but he has some issues. Something ain't going on. Something's not right there with Dunbar. Hopefully everything will be alright, but we have to find out on the next episode what's going on with Chance, what's going on with Dunbar even more. But bro looked like he was crying, like he was getting ready to tell his deepest, darkest secret that that he ain't never want anybody to know. It was kind of eerie a little. It felt bad for the brother. But you guys let me know what you think before we get more ready to move on to the next couple. And the next couple is Joya and Jasa. We see Joya talking to Dr. Stacy in the group when they was in the group setting, talking about how she enjoyed the date that she was on, but she didn't want to go on him anymore. It's too much, right? Too much. He was talking too much about marriage, and he was moving too fast, kind of weird. But she also mentioned what was key, that her and Jasa didn't give her any boundaries when she went out on a date. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm saying, yo, sis, he set you up. He set you up, because what's going to happen now is that because there was no boundaries that was set, the problem is going to be is when he goes out on the date, he's not going to have any boundaries neither. And so, since both of you don't have any boundaries, it is going to be a big, big problem here. I'm just letting you know there's going to be a big problem because there's no boundaries, right? So now, you didn't have any boundaries, so when he go on a date, they're not going to be boundaries neither. So we're going to see, they talked about the crumb in the beard. He said he didn't mind her taking the crumb off the beard of her date's face. hey, it's a crumb. It's not like she licked it off. It's not like she did all that. No, she just wiped it off. And he said he understood how it was caught up in the beard. But now, we see Jason getting ready for his date. I mean, he's getting ready. He's getting pumped. He's excited about this date. We see Miss Selena walks up to the door, and Selena is, Jack know, if she was here, because we said it together, like, Selena's banging, right? She got the body, she got the look, she got her hair is nice, pretty face, pretty makeup. She got the nice little kind of sheer dress, a little see-through kind of thing going on. And I'm sitting here like, oh boy, Jasha is going to like this. Jason gets there, and when they go out to the date, they get to the restaurant, and they find out, in the midst of them conversing, they find out that she's a Gemini, and he is a Cancer, right? She's a Gemini, he's a Cancer. And they start to have a great conversation, great dialogue. They both do meditation. I said I got it right. She's a Gemini and he's a Cancer. They start doing they both realize like to meditate. She found out he's been to Thailand. Thailand is a place that she wants to go and do meditation. She said she also went to Hawaii and did some things there. So they started talking about the ways they travel. She said she wanted to go to a Spanish-speaking country. And he asked her, "Do you speak Spanish?" He was like, and he asked her, "Does she speak Spanish?" She's like, "Yo, what's up?" They started speaking Spanish across the table to each other. And I'm sitting here like, man, that chemistry is great. They got some great chemistry there. And I'm thinking in my mind, Joya might have wanted to set some boundaries, because if you didn't set no boundaries now, my bruh's going in the chemistry, the energy that they have is great chemistry, great energy. He asked her, why are you still single? She's like, yo, I'm single because there's been a lot of frogs out here, and I just haven't found my prince yet, right? I haven't found the one that I wanted to be with. I haven't found the one that really perked my interest. I was sure she would have asked him, like, why you ain't engaged yet, right? But she didn't ask that question. But then it gets into the point where he's feeling comfortable, she's feeling real comfortable, and they begin to talk about Joya having kids. He said, yo, Joya is ready to move in to have kids in marriage. And which is great. If we've been together for a while, why shouldn't we talk about kids in marriage? Now, first, this is me. I'm just talking. If it's my daughter, I want it to be the opposite, because I want to be about marriage and then kids, not kids in marriage. I think sometimes you put the cart before the horse. I think you should have marriage and kids, not kids in marriage. But that's a whole different conversation. That's a whole different podcast. That's a whole different thing, because some people don't agree. But again, marriage and kids should be and it should be the right direction. Joya's, he's older. They believe Joy is like 37. Like, y'all are in that window, right, where you pushing the cart, because she becomes a high-risk pregnancy. Thank you. I know that because my wife, Jack, is a nurse. So we talk about stuff like that all the time when we have friends who are having babies at a different age. But she's getting in that age where there's become a high-risk pregnancy. And I'm sitting here like, dog, if you know she wants this, why don't you get married? If you love her, get married and help this woman have a kid, create a kid. And have a kid together in a family. I don't think Jason's at the point that he want to marry her yet. I think he's happy with playing house. Just my opinion. Y'all let me know what you think in the chat section. Then he asked Selena. Selena was like, look, I'm not pressed to have kids. Never pressed to have kids. But if I never get married, then I'm never having kids. I'm not pressed to have it. And she said it the right way. If she's not married, kids are not happening. This is her belief. This is what she believes in. I think that's the correct way, because, again, in relationships, when you just have relationships, you start having kids with people, it complicates a lot of things. Not just for you, but it complicates things for the kids. And it makes things awkward and weird. So with Selena saying, yo, I'm not pressed to have kids. Most people want to have kids. Most people want to have kids, then get married. Nah, bump that. Selena said she want to do it. Selena said she wants to do it the right way. I think Jasha appreciates that. And again, this date that they had a lot of energy. This date that they had a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? A lot of sparks. I thought it was sparks in this date. So Joya might have wanted to set some boundaries in this relationship, because it is I can see Jasha something why he want to go out again with Selena. She's pleasing to the eyes. The conversation is good, and it seems like it's maybe something that he likes. Let's move on to the next couple. My man Ricky and Catherine. Catherine didn't want to go out with the other guy because he had kids and all this other stuff, and she was kind of comparing him to Ricky. And Dr. Stacy was like, look, can you leave that stuff in the past or that stuff behind? When you're on these dates, you can't be thinking about Ricky and all this other stuff. Think about the moment that you're in. Think about what's going on with you right now. You know, the gentleman brought her some flowers, and she said she put them on his nightstand, basically reminding him what he should be doing. Bruh, you can't buy no flowers. Food Line got flowers. Walmart got flowers. Kroger got flowers. Shoot, I even think Target got flowers. Go get this girl some flowers. $9.99, $10, $11, $15 at Walmart, depends on where it's at. I believe Food Line, use your Food Line card, get some flowers, bring some flowers home. If not, find a florist. Truth be told, florists are a little bit cheaper than the retail stores, because the florist you can cut overhead if you go straight to the florist and get some flowers for your girlfriend. Matter of fact, if you don't, that's the case, if you cheap, you ain't got no money, bro, go find somebody else's yard and bring her some flowers. She got other man's flowers laying on your nightstand to remind you that you need to get her some flowers. I was like, wow. Wow. You know, Ricky, we come to find out that Ricky, he says he pays for everything, but then we find out Ricky lives in a house with like a whole bunch of people. Ricky lives in a house with his sister, who has 2 kids. His brother Pat, who comes by every blue moon, and then he lives in a house with his parents, and then Catherine and Ricky lived in the house also. And I'm sitting here like, bruh. And I'm sitting here like, Catherine, what's wrong with you? Like, what's wrong with you? You living in a house with this man that you want him to marry you. He has an ex-wife. He's your friend, former friend for 10 years. He has an ex-wife, has a kid, and you're living in a house with his parents, with his sister and her 2 kids, and the family there, and you're complaining about that they get into your business. They're when y'all have arguments or conversation, that they're adding their input, and you're ready to get your own place. You should be getting. There should be a plan. Even if he asks you to marry him, you should be getting your own place, right? He should be moving you out into a place where it's no family should be home. But I don't know if he can do that or not. I'm not 100% sure if he can do that. I'm not talking about speaking of man finances. I'm not sure if he's there yet. You know, so Ricky goes out. He's getting ready for the date, and her biggest Catherine's biggest concern is that Ricky's gonna be doing something for his date that he doesn't do for her. That he is, definitely he is. He goes out with Sheila. Sheila she comes in tatted up, dressed. You know, my son, 17-year-old boy, like, man, she looked like she getting ready to go to the club. That's what she looked like. She looked like she was getting ready to go to the club. But nonetheless, she is a nurse. They start having a great conversation. We just walk outside. They walk outside, get ready to go to their date. And we see, hold on for a minute, a BMW. And I'm thinking, I had to go hit pause for a minute. And I had to rewind, because I'm sitting here thinking like, oh my goodness. Oh, he do got a BMW. Nah, it wasn't him. He took her out in her car. And I'm sitting here like, bro, ain't got a car. Bro, ain't got a vehicle. Maybe she just wanted to drive her car. I didn't see anything. But at least he opened the door for her. She hopped in her car. He hopped in the other side. There they went. And I'm sitting here thinking like, why you didn't use your car? Y'all going on a date, right? You the gentleman. Hop in your vehicle. You drive. You take her out. You have, just my thoughts. Y'all guys let me know what you think. Or, then again, maybe Ricky don't have a car. It is what it is. He does live at home. I'm just saying. Ricky began to talk about the things with him and Catherine. About how him and Catherine are going on. And just during this date that him and Catherine are in a relationship. That he does have a kid. So at dinner, Ricky tells Sheila that him and Catherine have a big argument. Have arguments. And some of the arguments they have is that he sleeps over at his ex-wife's house and watches the kids while she go to work. And I'm sitting here like, bruh, you know how suspicious that look? And I'm sitting here thinking, I looked over to Jack and said, why you don't just bring the kids to his house? It's already a whole bunch of people there anyway. Bring the kids on over. Let them hang out. Let them chill. Let them make a paddle on the floor. Let them sleep right there. Sleep in your room with you and Catherine. Do whatever you need to do. But you can chill under the couch and you sleep on the couch at your ex-wife's house. What is Catherine supposed to think? Any woman with a little bit of sense, any man might with a little bit of sense, may think, hey, something might be going on. That's your ex. Someday she may come in and may feel like, oh, he's on the couch. Oh, good dude right there. Bring the kids over. It is very suspicious. Sheila was like, I would kind of question it too. But again, it has to be a communication thing between you and Catherine. I don't see him and Sheila going out on another date. I think he likes Sheila. I think the chemistry, the energy that was there when they was having a conversation was good. But but I'm not sure if she's really ready for Ricky and his I don't say childish ways. Ricky need to grow up. I think at a certain age that you should be out of your mama's house. At a certain age, your girlfriend should be moving into your mama's house with you. At a certain age, when you finish with your ex, you should be sleeping on your ex's couch. Ricky got a lot of issues going on. You guys let me know what you think. Leave a comment in the comment section below. What do you think about this episode of Married? Put a ring on it. Episode of Put a Ring on it. That is Chance and Dunbar doing too much. Is Jasha, should Joya have setting boundaries with Jasha? And do Ricky have a car? And Ricky seems like he just needs to get his life together, and Catherine needs to run now. Hey, let me know what you think. Leave a comment in the comment section below. If you watched it if you watched this far to this video, you watched it to the end, you made it to the end. If you're not subscribed, why not hit the subscribe button? Hit the bell notification so you don't miss any of our videos. Appreciate it. Once again, give us a big thumbs up. Talk to you later.